Hello, humans and pets. Today, the edge.
The ultimate edge of the ultimate.
So it's the edge, the ultimate.
So Pizza Hut, against our better judgment, because our last Pizza Hut was rough, we decided we would go back. I didn't realize that this was a thin crust pizza, but it is. They have a new The Edge that just came out.
It says thin, crispy crust loaded with toppings all the way to the edge.
And that's their premise. They put the toppings all the way to the edge. And
Ryan's answer was that it's a lemon. Because I don't like how... Why would you need to make a thin crust pizza to promote that only this pizza has toppings to the edge? Make it to the edge normally.
Right. That's one of Ryan's huge things that he likes about Little Caesars. Is because there's always right to the edge.
Every time. It has a buttery taste too on the crust. So. It's $13 for this large.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're
gonna go positive today.
To the edge.
We're positive.
We got the ultimate version. There's like a meat lovers. There's a vegetarian. There's a pepperoni, and there's a ultimate.
The one good thing with that is they're all the same price on any of them. Whether you got that. The bad thing is if you want just pepperoni, you're gonna pay the same price as if you wanted all the 4 meats. Yeah. So we got the one with the. It has pepperoni, sausage, onions, and peppers, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So let's do the grand reveal of the edge.
I'm scared, guys.
Well, I can say it's looking like it went to the edge. Kind of. Ryan's going to critique that.
Kind of?
And
I can't see it right now.
I'm not showing Ryan. We're going to shut it back up. We're going to call it a wrap. No, it's pretty much close. It's pretty close to it. It is very much has a seasoning on it.
It looks like they poured basil.
There's definitely...
That's a lot of stuff on this piece.
There's definitely a lot of seasoning.
I am worried about that.
There's a lot of seasoning. I don't know what the seasoning is.
It's the edge.
I'm going to eat that one. The one that has heavy seasoning. How's that? I'm going to go for that one. It is definitely a thin crust pizza.
I'm worried. It doesn't look like there's any sauce. So they might have got toppings to the edge. Let me show you guys.
Well, we got to see.
I don't see no sauce on this entire pizza. But look, here's the slice.
That was kind of what happened last time at Pizza Hut Pizza.
Here's the edge.
Yeah.
That's the edge, and it has stuff up to it. I mean, it's pretty good.
Well, we'll show. This is what he was worried about on my piece. It has a generous amount of whatever they sprinkled on there, so I'm not sure what it is.
And there's a lot of it on the pizza.
There is. Hopefully it tastes good. Yeah. And let's see. So it is a thin crust, and it was what?
Oh, tomatoes 12? As well as tomatoes on it. $12.99. $12.99. $11.99, $12.99. I believe it was $12.99.
I didn't realize it was a thin crust pizza.
I'm worried.
It might have chased me away because I'm not usually a thin crust pizza person, but it is new, so we're gonna try it anyways. But all right, let's try it.
Sauceless pizza.
True to thin crust fashion, the crust actually has a little crunch to it. That's most people that want the thin crust like that.
I am a thin crust fan.
He does like it a lot.
But I like pizza in general, so I think it's just easier to eat.
I think what he was going at with his hims and ha's, I just ripped off a little where the pepperoni was. As you can see, there's no sauce on the bottom of the pepperoni.
Or cheese on the bottom of the pepperoni.
And there's no sauce on the bottom of there either. It's very, very minor. It's almost like a tomato flavor. It's not even like a sauce.
They have tomatoes on the pizza.
Oh, is that what
That's
this
what
is?
you're tasting.
Because every once in a while I was getting hit of like a tomato. That was a piece of tomato right there. I didn't realize it. There's really no sauce though.
This is my new favorite pizza.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
This is not my new favorite pizza. And add sauce. Please add sauce. Please.
Truth be told, to me, and this is my personal opinion, I guess, some people really like the thin crust. And I know the one time, you sometimes will order a flatbread or a thin crust pizza like this. But when I eat these, and this one included, it reminds me of the Celeste frozen pizzas that I make for Ryan. That, you know what I mean? Like if you cooked it, and you can get them for 98 cents. You know what I mean? Like, and they have sauce
$13
and a lot more flavor than
this. What I think he was getting at is that you can buy a 98-cent pizza that tastes better than what you're eating right now.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. Honestly, you eat them all the time.
This is my least favorite pizza.
Honestly, you eat them all the time.
I've ever had. I think school lunch is better, but I'm biased to school lunch. I like their pizza, whatever pizza they make, the circle pizza, like the oval pizza, rectangle pizza, whatever pizza.
I only think we have this one Pizza Hut that's near us, and we've gone to the same one every time. And I don't know if they just forbid their people from putting sauce on a pizza.
They don't like sauce.
They do not put sauce on a pizza. If you guys go, if anyone's watching this and actually gets one of these, let us know if it has sauce.
Or works there. Any employees, do you put sauce on the pizza?
Because it's not bad. I mean, the flavor's okay. Whatever this sprinkle is, that's really what you taste the most of. Because ours is doused.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Little Caesars went hand heavy with the salt that on the pretzel crust. Whoever was sprinkling the happy dust on this pizza went absolutely nuts. But really,
I think that powder or whatever it is just to convince you that there's sauce, because that stuff should go in the sauce, right? To flavor the sauce.
It's got to be a seasoning. I don't know. I was all excited to try this, and it said, "Ooh, it actually smelled good." Getting in the car, but
the ultimate is the opposite.
Well, we've never got a Supreme. That's one of the few things we never got at Little Caesars.
Yeah.
But the toppings itself, I mean, if it didn't have the magic fairy dust, I mean, look at a brand new piece of pizza. There's a little bit of peppers, there's a little bit of onions. It's not loaded.
No Little Caesars.
Like it's very scarce. Like there's a lot of, like, okay, so you don't want to put that much pepperoni, but then you have room for onions and peppers and all the cheap stuff that they didn't load it on.
The sad thing, right, is that this is probably the same amount of toppings as there is on a regular pizza, except they just put some of them on the crust. So,
and honestly, where? There's one piece of pepperoni on this one. There's nothing here. There's nothing here.
So, thin crust, right, is known for its texture, and it's known for its loaded stuff on it, right? Has sauce, normally, not this one. Has cheese. It has, the toppings, whatever you order with it. But normally, thin crust is thin crust because it doesn't have a crust. It's a thin pizza with a thin bottom, and then it has a very little, edge.
The edge, right.
So normally you get the stuff all the way up to it. This just doesn't have the stuff on it. It's missing sauce.
No, if you go back to the same piece I held up before, just so we're not nitpicking, I mean, I don't know. I get their concept, and it is a good concept, but like Ryan said, if you're going to make quality pizza, it should have stuff all the way to the edge. In this style of pizza, I mean, don't get me wrong, they have the Italian pizza. Well, I might be getting my ethnicity wrong, but they have, this is like the the Greek style pizza, you know what I mean, where it's the normal stuff. But then they have the ones where you got the big chunks of mozzarella all over the place, and you know what I mean, the fancy, I call them fancy pizzas. But Pizza Hut isn't that, you know what I mean?
No.
And again, does it taste bad? No, it doesn't. It's not bad. Could it use a sauce? Sure could. You know what I mean? It's not a bad tasting pizza, but honestly, if I went down and got the Supreme Mama Celeste, or the Celeste pizza, they're not even Mama anymore, they're Celeste pizza.
No more Mama.
And that I've made him 1,000 times, and you get the Supreme one with the little, the tiny little peppers and the onions and
every
stuff.
single one tastes better. The vegetarian one, which I'm a fan of. Every single sauce tastes different.
In fact, I doctor him up and put like pepperoni and mushroom, and they put a ton of cheese on the top, and he loves them. But if I actually baked it in the oven instead of microwaving it, it would taste like this. But it would be better because it would be covered in sauce and it has that nice flavor. And because normally that's the good thing about
those. It wouldn't be drowned in the dry seasoning.
Yeah.
The good thing about those is that it has flavor throughout, even if you're not getting it. Even if you're not getting the stuff that has the flavor, it just constantly has flavor. I don't know how they do it. And that's a frozen 98-cent pizza. This is a $13, hopefully not frozen pizza from Pizza Hut with no sauce.
The only good thing is the seasoning they have on the pizza actually gives it a flavor, because otherwise it would be dry.
There's too much.
But that's pretty much all you're getting, because there's so much of that on there. But it's
what I want them to do is put the sauce and then put that stuff in the sauce, because then the sauce will have a flavor. But there's no sauce on this pizza, so then you wouldn't have any seasoning.
It really is just no sauce at all. There's like if they put any, like I'm gonna dissect this thing, and just so you see, I mean, this is the bottom. There's none that's stuck to the pepperoni, and that's your sauce. Like, it is such a minute amount.
Not a lot of cheese either.
No. No, there's not.
It's all hidden by.
There's not a lot of toppings.
No. Well, there is on the crust, because that's what they're trying to sell right now. Right?
The funny thing is, as we were driving home, I got a lecture from someone in the car, and it wasn't my dog.
Who?
About how, you know, all he wants to do is get slices and sticks.
I want slices and sticks for $6 from Little Caesars. I wanted to get that today.
And the reality of it all is...
But that one, we already reviewed it.
We already reviewed it. But the reality of it all is, you can get slices and sticks for $6. You could have got 2 huge pies. So it would have been a whole pie of slices and a whole pie of sticks.
For $12.
For the same price as what we just did.
Buck less.
Right.
And it comes with sauce on the slices. And the sticks tasted delicious last time. So,
so if you're a thin crust pizza, first of all, I didn't realize it was thin crust. And if you're a thin crust pizza lover, it has nice texture. But again, I can't believe I'm praising Little Caesars, because I wouldn't go to Little Caesars before we started these videos. I wouldn't go there because it was a discount pizza place, and it just, to me, I thought it was going to be horrible. But even the thin crust pizza we had had a buttery flavor.
Thin crust pizza is the best thin crust I've ever had, because it has the crispy texture, it has the stuff to the end, it has a ton of stuff. We got the thin crust section most best is pepperoni. So it has no, it's fine. It has the pepperoni everywhere. Has cheese everywhere. It has sauce everywhere. And it's to the end, like a pizza should. I always think of a pizza as a pizza. It should. And it's so good.
But I didn't love their thin crust either. To me, this reminds me of like eating a toaster strudel. Like, it's almost like a pastry when you eat and I kind of said that about Little Caesars too. It's no longer a dough. It's kind of like eating a pastry.
Theirs had a better texture though.
It did, because it had like a buttery flavor still. Where this doesn't. It's just dry.
Yeah.
And, you know, to me, it becomes like a flaky pastry. And it's not... I have to, again, as much as I fight them all the time, and we haven't been there in so long, Little Caesars is half the price. And if you're going to go down to it, I didn't realize this was thin crust. I wouldn't have stopped this anyways because it's a new pizza and we would have reviewed it anyways. But would I personally ever buy this? No, never again.
This pizza is the worst pizza I've ever had.
No.
Yes.
No.
The stuffed pretzel crust pizza from Little Caesars. If they remove the salt, that would be one of the best pizzas I've ever had because I love that cheese sauce. I didn't like the salt. No. I think it's tied with the pretzel crust. This is a huge disappointment. The thin crust, it isn't crunchy. Like some parts you get good texture, right? I like it when it's like crisp.
I don't mind the
Sometimes it's soggy. It's to the end, but it's not a lot of toppings, and there's no sauce, and then you get drowned with this flavor from whatever shaker they have, and it's just not good. I am not a fan.
I think the dryness of the crust would have been offset with a decent amount of sauce on the top. So then it wouldn't have mattered. Right, it would have offset it. Eat that last piece.
I guess
it would have offset the dryness. Like it's almost like when we ate Buffalo Wild Wings. They weren't horrible. They just weren't good. Mm-hmm. They were dry and tough to swallow, and that's what this reminds me of. And I get when you have a thin crust, you want to put a crisp on it. I got no problem with that. But if it had a sauce, I don't even exactly know what's going on over there.
I was trying to look for the sauce.
If it had a sauce, it would counter it somehow. But I mean, this isn't a horrible pizza, but it's definitely not a good pizza either. And again, I kind of hyped up. I always looked at Pizza Hut as a step above pizza place. You know what I mean? Like it was like a top tier. It's supposed to be like a gourmet pizza. And honestly, I don't think we've had one that wasn't a disappointment so far. And I'm almost wondering if I got to switch establishments because, again, my sister worked there years and years ago, and I remember her bringing home like good pizzas, and they were delicious. But we haven't had a good one. We haven't had. Did we have their pan pizza there?
We had the Detroit style pizza.
No.
Oh my goodness.
We went specifically to get their pan pizza. Now I'm remembering, and that's the one with no sauce. Remember that one didn't have any sauce. It was their pan pizza.
And the Detroit style didn't have any. Well, the whole idea was that they reduced the amount of sauce on a pizza.
Right.
That was the whole Detroit style. Because rather than putting it on below everything, they put it on top.
Right.
But they didn't put it on top of the whole pizza. They did one little stripe.
At least that one was fluffy and tasty. Where this one, I mean, I'm not a thin crust pizza lover, anyways. Oops, sorry, buddy. And
this seasoning is terrible.
It's not bad, but for the money,
it leaves a dry taste in your mouth. Because you have a ton of spice, and you're trying to wash it down with, like, the sauce or anything at this point. There's so little cheese, there's so little everything.
I think that seasoning would have been delicious if you counted it with a nice sauce underneath.
But they didn't, so it just adds to the dryness.
It does.
Now you're parched. You're like, okay, I gotta go buy a 2-liter soda from Pizza Hut, you know?
It really does. You wouldn't notice it, because and this is the other reason why we don't usually get thin crust pizzas. It's gone.
I eat it all.
It's gone, and that's the end of that. So there's your large pizza. I'm not gonna lie. I wish we went and got slices and sticks for $6 because then I would have leftovers. But it's gone, and so it wasn't horrible. We ate it.
I'd never buy this again.
I wouldn't either.
And if you gave me anything,
I wouldn't either.
I would never eat this again. If there's any other type of pizza, I'd eat one with like pineapple on it. Because I like pineapple on pizza.
I'm trying to even think back to, like, we've only had Domino's the one time, but I think that at least had more flavor. Like,
it had more sauce on the Domino's, and that had barely any sauce.
You lose the taste of and again, this is why I thought the sticks were so good. Because they're sauceless. So I thought they were going to be dry, but they had such a buttery flavor. This was sauceless with no buttery flavor, and it was dry, and then they put a minimal amount of cheese, which again, we're cheese lovers. We eat about a handful. So a minimal amount of toppings and a dry seasoning on the top. So you really didn't, you didn't get that relief where you really did need like a dipping sauce or something, because it needed something to counter that. So it was easily the driest pizza I've had in a long time.
This is a complete fail. I always say, if you're going to make a pizza, make it a good pizza, right? You don't need to make a promotion on a $13 thin crust pizza that you're finally putting stuff to the end of your pizza. Just go and be like, hey everyone, we're not going to charge you extra for stuff on the crust. How about we just, every pizza from now on, we stick 1 pepperoni, or we add a little bit of cheese and sauce or something. You don't need a $13 thin crust pizza to be like, we're breaking news, you know, we're across the world or across the country.
I don't know if Pizza Hut has gone downhill over the years, or if it's just, I just imagined it better when I was a kid when I ate it. Because I was younger when we've had it on numerous times. I know there's got to be one of you guys listening have to be Pizza Hut lovers. And maybe your Pizza Hut gives you a legitimate pizza. So if you go there again, you know, let us know. Because I can tell you right now, for a lot less money, please do not.
Well, I just want to show them. Here is the seasoning.
Yeah. For a lot less money.
Under the pizza.
You could have went to the local.
That's a lot.
You could have went to the local place
under it.
And got
not on it.
A much better pizza with a lot more toppings on it.
And even Little Caesars.
I mean, who did it? Was it the Food Network, the Theory, that challenged all the pizzas and who had the cheapest pizza with the most amount of toppings?
Yeah.
And Little Caesars came in like, ours is loaded every time we get it, and I don't know. It just we haven't had a
cry.
I mean, no, think about it though. How many times did we get the local pizza when we used to get a Supreme? And how much onions and peppers do they put on it? It's loaded on there.
You get like 1 pepperoni per slice on this thing.
In like 2 slices of onion and 2 slices of pepper.
And just because it's a Supreme doesn't mean you should add any less pepperoni. Just add
but
pepperoni,
even if you did,
you
could have covered the whole thing with onions and peppers, and it would have made me happy because it would have looked like there was stuff on it. It was a very scarce amount, and we'll have to. That's one thing we haven't ever ate at Little Caesars is they do have the Hawaiian. You keep bugging me for, which I just
Hawaiian.
But they do have a Supreme that we've never had, and I don't know how good it is and how they put their stuff on for toppings and everything like that. But you know,
get any other pizza.
This wasn't a horrible pizza. Was it worth the $12? $13? I don't think so. I really don't think so, because you got to put sauce on a pizza. You just have to put sauce on a pizza. And again, when you eat the thin crust like that, think of how many of the store-bought, the Walmart brand or the Price Chopper brand that we buy.
Go get what?
When you get the
DiGiorno?
No,
I've never had DiGiorno.
Think of the thin crust ones that we buy a lot of times when they're on sale for $3 a pizza.
$3
that
frozen
tastes
pizzas?
Just as good, if not better than this, because they have sauce on it. They really do. And again, you know, for those Pizza Hut people, you know, I'm not apologizing, because it's just not as good as a frozen pizza. And if you're going to pay good money, it's got to be better than a frozen pizza.
I think this.
You know, you can say what you want, even if you're a DiGiorno lover. DiGiorno doesn't taste like a real good piece of pizza. No. You know it's a frozen
might not be
pizza.
Delivery,
it's not bad.
But it's not good.
But it's not good. Like, it's not a good piece of pizza. And I can't say
I've had it once.
When I ate this, you know, it had all that seasoning, so it had a burst of flavor. But then by the end of it, I'm like, I'm dry. You know,
I still am, and I drink stuff after.
It needed like a sauce. It needed to bring it all together. That's what a pizza is. It's all about the sauce, you know, and the cheese. And like, you know, they show you on TV all the time, the gooey cheese coming up. There was hardly any cheese on there. Hardly any.
This is sad to pizza as a thing.
Yeah.
In total. Don't put the stuff in the middle. I feel like that's an easy solution. You don't have to hype it up. Like, we did the unthinkable. We added stuff on our crust. Just do that normally. It takes one extra second rather than going, just go.
I get the promotion out of it. What I don't get is the non-sauce and the bland taste. You know, Domino's.
At least it wasn't burned.
Domino's years ago revamped everything because people stopped going to Domino's because you used to want to eat the box as compared to eating the pizza because it just was tasteless and everything. And it's almost like Pizza Hut needs to do something because, nothing tasted good.
The pepperoni was worse than Little Caesars. And
it was insignificant.
Divided by the price.
Yeah, I don't know. It just was insignificant. It wasn't like, ooh, I got a piece of pepperoni. It was relatively tasteless. And that kind of goes with everything.
Pizza has more flavor.
And again, you put one slice of onion and one slice of pepper. It doesn't even feel like you were eating a combination pizza. Like when you get a combination pizza at our local place, you can't pick the pizza up without onions and peppers falling off, and it's loaded, and you feel like you're eating something.
Pizza when you pay $13 to have 2 whole peppers and 2 whole onions.
Well,
but this has a quarter of a pepper and like a quarter of an onion.
Again, maybe our place is just bad. So we'll stop ranting about them and we'll wrap that up. But with that being said, let us know if you have a Pizza Hut near you and you actually get a good piece of. Let us know. Leave a comment.
This was terrible. I do not recommend.
I wouldn't recommend going to get it.
No.
Unless you're an absolute lover of the thin crust and tomato-less pizzas. If you like a pizza without a sauce,
I wouldn't walk. Like if I had a Pizza Hut right next door, I wouldn't walk 5 steps to go get this for free. This is bad.
I'd do it for free. We just ate a whole pizza. But that's the problem, again, with the thin crust is you don't feel like you're eating anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a disappointment
this box seems very small.
Well,
I also want to say that.
Oh, it's the same
large
size.
Box,
nah, it's the same size.
I think
they did change the cover, though. Look, it says Edge on it. Just so it isn't their traditional Pizza Hut pizza. So they did spend money on marketing.
No, a lot of stuff. I see all the advertisements. Yeah. It's all like, it has stuff on the crust. And I always don't do that. Don't put.
The funny thing is we've never. I went one time with my buddy John, and we stopped at a pizzeria Uno, and we've never actually got. We went one time when he was coming home from the dentist and stuff. Really, because it's a cup.
I can't.
There's a thing right in front of you. And
thank you.
But we got a little flatbread pizza. We didn't get this. I'd like to try one of their official Chicago deep dish pizzas one day.
Ooh,
and that's kind of where we thought we were gonna go. And this popped up as they tweeted about it, and I said, "This is brand new. Let's go get this instead." I'm wishing we went to Uno's now.
My mouth is dry.
Yeah,
dry.
That's because you can't put your drink in it. You pour it on your lap instead.
Just because I can't drink liquid. I couldn't even drink the sauce.
Yeah,
there was none. So,
all right. That being said, we've hopped on Pizza Hut long enough.
This was terrible. Like and subscribe.
Let us know if your Pizza Hut is better than ours. Maybe our place is just bad. Trust me, I don't like going to this one place we got to go to. It's a ton of traffic.
Maybe that can be.
And it could be
200 subscriber special.
What? Eat more Pizza Hut?
Who can eat the dry pizza the fastest?
No. So there you go. So there is Pizza Hut The Edge thin crust pizza from Pizza Hut. And again, if you're feeling daring, go give it a try and leave us a comment down below whether you
tell us if the money was worth it.
Yeah, I don't feel, I spent twice as much money for 2 grinders at D'Angelo's yesterday and was so much happier eating that.
Yeah.
They were absolutely delicious, and I spent, I just wish I spent my money elsewhere today.
Don't make it more money to put one piece of pepperoni on the crust and add no sauce.
Yeah. So there you go. There's Pizza Hut pizza. Again, unfortunately, I keep trying to win them over, and they're losing me as a customer instead of winning me over myself. So, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the review.